Breaking news just into our newsroom. The Dyer County Sheriff's Office has named a suspect in connection to the 4 people found dead in Lake County. Deputies say 29-year-old Austin Drummond, you see here, has a warrant out for his arrest.
Well, in custody after a week-long search, this first picture from the TBI sharing the moments Austin Drummond was found in a wooded area in Jackson, Tennessee. The second picture you just saw there coming from the Jackson Police Department. Now, Drummond is the man wanted for killing 4 family members in Lake County and abandoning a baby in a yard in Dyer County. This arrest, a sigh of relief for so many neighbors worried about where he might be. Thank you for joining us for Action News 5 at midday. I'm Ariana Poindexter. We want to get right out to Action News 5's Michaela Redmond. She has been following this case since it started in Dyer County. She is now in Jackson, Tennessee, live with what we know. Michaela. Action News 5's Joe Birch joining us now with more on those concerns that have been expressed for years. Joe.
Well, that's right, Ariana. District Attorney Jody Pickens said Austin Drummond was not capable of living among society. Now, the DA said this. The prosecutor said this 5 years ago as Drummond was up for parole, serving a 10-year sentence for an aggravated robbery.
And multiple people were arrested as accessories as investigators claim they helped Drummond avoid arrest. De'Ara Sanders, Tanaka Brown, and Giovante Thomas, all 3 are facing charges in Lake County. Brown is also facing charges of tampering with evidence.
Especially the people that live out there close to where they were, they, know that something like that happened right there, and having something like that happen close to where you live, it's got to be terrifying.
And this all brings us back to this moment. Austin Drummond was arrested around 8 this morning after a week-long search, which includes multiple lockdown and shelter-in-place orders.
Well, the outpouring of condolences continue to pour in this morning following the news of FedEx founder Fred Smith's death. Good morning and thank you for joining Action News 5 Weekend. I'm Sydney Gray. The 80-year-old suffered a massive heart attack Saturday afternoon and died. Action News 5's Joe Birch shares a snapshot of Smith's gigantic life and enduring impact on Memphis, America, and the world.
Fred Smith, age 80, had been in poor health this year. According to an email Mr. Smith wrote to a mutual friend earlier this month and shared with me, he had undergone lung cancer surgery on March 6th and had been seeing doctors on a very frequent basis since then.
County Judge Melissa Boyd is expected to plead guilty in her criminal case tomorrow. Boyd was charged with coercion of a witness and harassment back in December. She remains in jail after her bond was revoked last week for failing a drug test, which was part of her bond conditions. And today, the 4 former Memphis police officers facing federal charges in the death of Tyree Nichols are in court again. Darius Bean, Emmett Martin III, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith each face federal charges for civil rights violations. Today is the deadline for the men to change their plea.
Grizzlies took home their 25th win of the season in a come-from-behind win against the Detroit Pistons. Jaren Jackson Jr. led the shorthanded Grizzlies with a game-high 40 points, his third 40-point game this season. Memphis will face the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow night in Milwaukee before heading home Friday night.
Let's talk about it. The second round of the NBA draft concluded yesterday afternoon, and the Memphis Grizzlies had 2 picks. The Grizz drafted sharpshooters Jalen Wells and Cam Spencer. Wells was selected with the 39th pick out of Washington State, and Memphis traded up for the 57th to the 53rd pick to select Cam Spencer out of UConn. Those 2 and first-round pick Zach Edey will be introduced later today at 5 p.m. And Memphis Tigers star David Jones is headed to the city of brotherly love. Jones went undrafted in this year's draft, but signed a 2-way deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. In his time at Memphis, Jones averaged 21 points and 7 rebounds a game in a historic season. Best of luck to our guy David in his journey to the league. And history was made last night on the diamond as Lucan Baker is the new Redbirds home run king. Baker hit 2 home runs versus the Gwinnett Stripers to set the all-time record for most home runs in Redbirds history. The 2 homers put him in the history books with 75 and a Redbirds uniform.
I mean, it's pretty cool. Obviously, You know, the goal is to be in the big leagues, but as long as I'm here, I just want to, like I've said a bunch of times before, I want to be where my feet are and do the best I can and be as prepared as I can every day. And it's a pretty neat record to have.
Yes, it is. The first baseman broke the record in 202 fewer games. Congrats once again to Lucan Baker. Round 1 of the 2024 NBA draft concluded last night, and the Memphis Grizzlies made their selection. Did you watch? Well, good news. The Grizz picked 7'4" center Zach Edey with the 9th overall pick out of Purdue. Edey, a back-to-back National Player of the Year, averaged 25 points and 12 rebounds last year. He brings size to Memphis as he fills a much-needed hole on the roster. Safe to say the Beale Street Bears are excited to land him.
Zach Edey is a particularly special fit, I think, for this group. In getting to know him, we're talking about someone whose competitiveness is through the roof, care factor through the roof, no ego, just wants to win. When we talk about, the DNA of this team and what we're trying to build out, Zach Edey, to a T, is that definition. We could not be more thrilled to land him in this draft.
Now, the Grizz are not done just yet. They have the 39th and 57th overall picks in the second round, which happens later today. And headed to L.A. is University of Tennessee product Dalton Knecht. Knecht was selected 17th overall to the Los Angeles Lakers. He averaged nearly 22 points a game, leading Tennessee to the Elite Eight, where he went against Zach Edey. A huge pickup for the Lakers, and one that UT fans are surely rooting for. And the University of Memphis search for an athletic director has officially wrapped up. The university announced yesterday that Dr. Ed Scott is coming to the school. Dr. Scott becomes the first black athletic director in school history. He will have a press conference on Friday, that's tomorrow, at the Lori Wilson Family Basketball Center. And while we're in our sports news this morning, the 2024 Paris Olympics just 1 month away. The city of Paris is still making preparations for tourists. NBC's Keir Simmons has the details.